Hey, Shalom, giving all praise unto Yahweh Shema Shai Bashim Rukah HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles of great millstone, and honor your brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. So I'm the brother Ibodia, coming out here to give you this truth through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shema Shai Bashim Rukah HaKodash. And giving all praise unto Yahweh Shema Shai Bashim Rukah HaKodash. So yeah, man, you can see right now Esau's kingdom is pretty much done. And in fact, if we go, let's just do a demonstration. Inflation, right? I wasn't going to take it down this route, but the spirit jumped on me to do it now. So we can see here, this is the UK right now, right? The UK inflation could soar above 4% this year, think tank warns, all right? So that's article number 1, published 16 hours ago, right? 2 days ago, inflation will halve your pension. This is how to triple protect. Sudden spike in inflation set to cost average family £700. Soaring inflation to leave households worse off, £700 worse off. This is all within the last sort of 48 hours, right? Soaring inflation, so we read that one. Significant threat, inflation could hit 4% will cost £700. So you can see and I like this article. I like how the Express have worded it. Hidden tax, how to minimize exposure as UK inflation rate surges. So you can see that the way in which Esau has been able to function, all right, this lifestyle of multiple holidays, multiple cars, tuition for the kids sorted, and property and all of these things. These little trinkets that the elite banking families allow them to have. Because right now we're dealing with, this particular video, we're going to be dealing with the peon Edomite that you're going to interact with on a day-to-day basis. We're not dealing with the higher-ups as such, but we're dealing with the so-called middle class that are going to be in your immediate vicinity, the ones that you're actually going to see on a day-to-day basis. These Edomites here have had this shtick about them, this stigma, if you will, for lack of a better word, about them, that they are better than the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. And they're the ones where, if you're applying for the job, they're actually going to be able to act out some of these things that the elite banking families have put into pieces of paper. So, for instance, you've got what's known as the systematic enslavement of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and the systematic oppression of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. That is to say, when Jake was trying to move up in society, there's particular stipulations that they just can't overcome so readily, right? You gotta go above and beyond before you are recognized as an elite thinker, right? As an elite individual. And even then, you're going to be an average individual in comparison to these Edomites that got legacy money, right? So check it out now. You have families now, Edomite families now, that have benefited from their forefathers being slave masters. Again, we're not talking about the super elite. We're just talking about your average day Edomite. They've been able to have a superiority complex that's justified in the wealth that they've obtained by their forefathers. They've been able to apply for particular jobs that you're not going to be able to go into. You've been applying for these particular jobs and you got an Edomite right there, and you're more than qualified for the job, and you know why they're not giving you that particular job. We've all been there. You can see it. The spirit don't click. Everything's not jiving how it's supposed to jive. Everybody every Israelite has been in this particular situation, and you know what I'm talking about, right? And so too, we find ourselves in a particular scenario, in a situation where reality is starting to sink in for a lot of these Edomites. For a lot of these Edomites, they're finding out that their elite banking family elites regard them, right? The peon, the Europeans, right? The peon Spanish, this peon French, your middle class Edomite French family, your Edomite your Edomite British family, your average Edomite British family. These elite banking families don't give a damn about you. You're meat for the meat grinder, All right, you're regarded as low as these jakes that you hate so much. And now with this inflation, which is like a hidden tax. So here it is. They did all of this so-called stimulus spending where they took money from the economy or leveraged the future economy, rather more. That's a better way of doing it, a better way of saying it. They leveraged the future economy on the so-called immediate problem. And you were sitting at home collecting checks and you didn't realize that there was a cost to it, especially you Edomites, because really Jake likes the idea of work. Jake likes to go out there and do particular things, contrary to common belief. Jake likes to stunt and do all of these particular things, but they know that you got to put some work in. So Jake be out there hustling, man. But when you look at the shortfall of this worldwide exercise and the reality that the vast majority out there of the Americans, is because apparently Jake is the minority, right? Jake's the minority, but the story reads people ain't returning back because they got the stimulus check. They ain't going back out there to work. Same story out here within England. People ain't wanting to go back to work because they was getting the furlough checks. So that lets me know if we're the minority groups, that really is you Edomites that are bums, right? But that's another story for another day. Let's go back to the point. So you had these individuals that had legacy money. Now you're seeing it to where because the economy was leveraged for the times that we're living in right now, okay, this exercise that we've experienced throughout the four corners of the earth, you had a situation where inflation is about to hit and is hitting in a major way. Now, Jake didn't have anything already. What's half of nothing? Now, Jake's going to suffer, but you Edomites, you peon Edomites, you middle-class Edomites, you non-elite Edomites, now you're realizing in the eyes of these banking elites that you ain't nothing. The same thing that happened with the heroin thing. First, it was a black problem, right? Now, when Esau started to catch hell, now all of a sudden it became an epidemic, right? So going into the point of this video, what you're gonna see now is a lot of these Edomites lashing out. A lot of these peon Edomites is gonna start to take their frustrations out on you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. A lot of these basic Edomites are going to start acting very emotional about you Israelites, man. Now, it's already been tense, but now when Esau is suffering, now when inflation's come and their pensions cut in half, like we seen out there within that particular article that we checked out a second ago, you're going to see that Esau is going to be moving very greasy against you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. It ain't going to be like this setup that they had out there within the Capitol building. No. Esau's going to be getting it in, man. That leads on to the race riots. Nation shall come up against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There shall be sedition amongst men. Why? Because of the lack of bread. That's within the book of 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter right here, the scripture here. I can go straight to it. 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter. I wasn't going to read that particular precept, but we can get it because it's kind of relevant to the point of this video. 2 Ezra 15 and 16, it says, and they shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their action shall stand in their power. So this is how people are going to be. And you better believe people are going to return back onto their own nations. Edomites are going to click to Edomites, and they're going to run up on you Jakes, man. They're going to run up on you. So things are going to get tight right now because Esau, again, these peon Edomites, they're starting to find out that, hold on a minute, they're just as disregarded as you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man. Because the elites made money on this worldwide exercise. The elite banking families, they made money on this exercise, man. But these peons, they done lost money, right? And then they're gonna start moving very, very crude. They're gonna start moving very, very, very imaginative, in which, the precept I wanted to get here was the book of 2 Ezra 15 and 3. Now we use this to refer to Jake that doesn't have the faith, but we're going to use it for the time being to apply to Esau. It says, fear not the imaginations against thee and incredulity of them that trouble thee and speak against thee, because this is how Esau is going to be moving against you Jakes, man. When he starts to suffer, when he can't feed Johnny, right, when he can't get that money up like he used to have it, that little middle class lifestyle, that little niche that he had, that little speck that the elite banking families gave him. When they don't have that anymore, they're gonna moving very, very, very distasteful. And you're already starting to see that, man. Tensions are at a fever pitch, man. Because everybody's belts, everybody's pockets been really gutted by the elite banking families. That's what this thing has showed you. So, hey, don't be surprised if you go to the job tomorrow, you see tensions between you and your fellow Edomite co-worker. You don't be surprised if you're getting a cut on the road by these Edomites, right? Because they're feeling it right now. They're feeling it. They're done, right? Esau's done, okay? Esau's done. And we're starting to see that right here with these peons, man. So that's the video. I apologize. It was a bit of a rant, but hopefully, the point was driven home. With that, I'm going to say, all praise unto Yahweh Shema Shai Bashim Kodash, double honors unto the apostles, a great millstone, and honest brothers to be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.